Richard from Florida, giving my honest review about my friend Kyle and my work that I did with him up in Chiripo, Costa Rica. 2 years ago, I was a wreck. I was a mess. I was on a warpath, riding motorcycles through the jungle. And through God's honest truth, I got lost and I ended up in this mountain, had a butterfly garden, and I felt compelled to stay there. I don't know why, but I did. Next thing I know, I kind of got into a community of people where they kind of just took me in, and it was just such a positive vibe that I got from this place. I said, I'm going to stay here for a minute. And I kind of cleaned up myself a little bit because I was literally drinking and riding motorcycles through the jungle. I had just left the United States 30, 40 days before that. And I was taking Adderall every day to counteract a hangover and to keep up onto a sales quota. Did sales for about 10 years, a high pressure type of sales environment, and I was a wreck. Um, I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but I was an absolute wreck. Got a huge, long family history of alcohol. So I've always used it as a celebration and always used it as a time when things were going bad, I would drink. Well, it really got out of hand, got out of control. So I generally believe I got put into this mountain or lost on this mountain for a reason. So I kind of listened to what was going on. And a couple months later, I wanted to kind of deep dive into more of my spirituality and more of the plant medicines. So through trial and tribulations and through networking with people, I stumbled upon Kyle. Kyle was recommended to me, and I came to Kyle via WhatsApp, kind of talking to him. I think him and I probably met at the feria, the farmer's market, and we chatted, and he kind of explained to me what he does, and I kind of explained to him where I was at, and I was honest with him. I'm a wreck. I'm not a bad person, but I found myself, in a dark place. So, anyways, I decided to go on with a 3 month, 90-day program with Kyle, and what it entailed was structure. And I've got ADD like you wouldn't believe, and I'm not using that as a crutch, but structure is very difficult for me. So what he offered me was a program where I was going to do a microdosing program where he was going to show me the pretty much the medicine woman who was making these, um, microdose capsules for me, and then we were going to incorporate that with a a spreadsheet of sorts where it was going to keep me held accountable. And there was different categories, which I'm not going to get into exactly what those categories were for me personally. But so it was a personalized experience. And every interaction I've ever had with Kyle, it's kind of an open heart and a very loving energy. And I can't say the same for anybody really. In my friend group, other than a very select few, I would say, that I have that connection with where I can open up and talk about my feelings. So I felt very, very comfortable talking about my feelings with Kyle. So I decided to go down this journey with him, and he held me accountable. He showed me different things that I could do to incorporate things for my daily routines, gave me ideas, and even what music to kind of listen to change the genre up, kind of just switch things up. And the idea behind it is to kind of incorporate some new hobbies and some new thoughts and some new experiences and allow the medicine to take place. And I have to say, generally, I think it took seat, and I am who I am today because of these experiences. Not solely this experience alone, but it was down the path. It was that choice that I made to say, hey, I'm going to make a change here. I'm not happy with what's going on, and I seek to help. And I asked for guidance, and Kyle was there with open arms. We did a MDMA journey together, very emotional for me. Came up with some things about my brother, certain things. I was dealing with trauma. I mean, really, there was dealing with trauma. I'm not gonna. If you know me, if you know my story, it's pretty gory um, and bloody. And I didn't realize that had some lingering effects. So he helped me through all of these different things. And when I went to this MDMA journey, he got up, or rather, I got up off the bed there on his front porch in Chiripo, the mountain in Costa Rica, and he said, "Do you want to tell me anything?" And I had something that was really heavy on my mind, some news that I had just gotten in the recent year or so, and what came out of his mouth was gold. And it gave me someone to confide in, gave me someone to listen to, someone to understand where I was coming from. And that really, really helped me get over that particular issue that I was having. And that's, alcohol aside. And talking about the alcohol situation, he said, let's just quit drinking alcohol. Let's just make a new relationship with alcohol. And that was a new concept for me because I'm a kind of like an all in or, nothing type of person. But the one thing that I could never pick up and I could never, put down was alcohol. You hand me a joint or you handed me something else, I mean, I could pick it up and I could put it down, but alcohol is really, really difficult one because it was so ingrained in who I was and my psyche. So listening to him, taking his guidance, I've been able to now, sitting here 22, 23 months after the fact, I've never been happier. I feel amazing. I feel great. I've taken some of the things that he said, I've incorporated it into my life. Got to be careful though, because when you do take that band-aid off and you want to start healing and you start want to go against the grain and you want to start, fixing some of this generational trauma, you you better be prepared. You better be prepared for some turbulent times, which I was not prepared. So luckily I had somebody like Kyle that I could reach out to and talk to. But yeah, just be prepared that some things are going to come up and they're pretty nasty. Shit gets worse before it gets better, and that is so true. Am I perfect? Hell no. Do I still make mistakes? Absolutely yes. Do I feel great about where I'm at? Absolutely. Do I have a long way to go? Yeah. I truly believe that God gave us two ears and one mouth, and we listen twice as much as we speak. And I had to learn that. So there's my feedback for Kyle. Love the guy. He's a friend of mine. He's actually now gotten me into a place in my mind where I want to now give back. I want to help. I want to get involved with men's mental health and you know, uh, men's mental health and men's treatments. So I'm going down that path, and I potentially is going to help. He's not going to help me, kind of help me organize that as well. So I hope this helps. If any of you guys have any questions or you're considering going with Kyle, shoot me a message, man. I'm an open book. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I love it. Some people take that as weakness. I don't. I think it's a strength to show your emotions, and I think Kyle would say that would be correct as well. So we are here for you. I love you. If you have any questions, I hope this helps for you. Message me, write me, whatever. Love you, Kyle. Talk to you later, brother.